talked briefly about bringing fights to Tampa. I know your heart's here.
Most
when you
definitely.
fought Roy Jones Jr., there was a lot of talk that Tampa would start to see more fights like that. You know, you've got Roy Jones in the area,
Right.
Winky Wright, Jeff Lacey.
Right.
Do you think that we could see Tampa as a boxing destination in the future, or is it the names that are tied to the destination that make Tampa what it would be as a boxing
I think
area?
you have to definitely give the names the respect, because without the names, I mean, who's going to be interested? You know what I mean? So Roy Jones and I, we've had a rivalry since 13 years old. So that was a no-brainer. I knew people would come out and support that. And then Roy Jones being a living legend in the game of boxing. And then with me being the man that took credit for really shutting it down, really changing the scope of the light heavyweight division when I beat him the first time and knocked him out the second time. I mean, that was stuff that, you know, dreams are made of, you know. And so when we got together, it just makes for smart business. And, you know, for him to have the nerves to come here to Tampa, it just shows you what he thought of himself and how much he believed in himself. And so, you know, I have to take my hat off to him, because I would have never gone to Pensacola.
Yeah, little P-Cola.
Never.
Regarding the acting, I know a lot of times, like they talk about Will Smith for Ali, things like that. When an actor is going to play a boxer, there's a lot of training they have to go through. How does that work out for someone that's being an actor from a boxer?
Well, with the transition that I made was pretty smooth. You know, like I said, Sly was the writer, director. He starred in it, so he knew exactly what he wanted. And, you know, he talked, and we worked and trained a lot. And so I think the toughest part was just the fight scenes, because we had to rehearse every day for like a month and a half. And, I mean, step by step by step.
Did he keep up?
He kept up. I mean, he was the one leading the way, believe it or not. You
No
know,
way.
this guy got unbelievable energy. He's a workaholic. And he taught me a lot, you know, just about the business of acting and what it really takes, you know. And they believe in time, being on time and prompt. And, you know, that was my biggest adjustment, because, you know, I was out there having a lot of fun and just really couldn't believe, you know, where I was standing at that time. And so I was a little bit in awe, and it took me about a week or two to really settle in. But once I got to it and started learning my script and like I said, working with him day after day after day, everything fell into place.
Well, it seems this has really sparked an interest in acting.
Yes.
And he had another small role in Scout's Honor.
Scout's Honor.
Scout's
It's
Honor.
a
Tell us
movie
about
that'll be
that.
released this Thanksgiving. Jim Fitzpatrick was the writer. He starred in it as well. And you got a bunch of familiar faces in it. Simeon Rice, one of our own with the
Our local
Buccaneers,
boys.
a former Buccaneer, Chidi Ohana, and his two sons are in it. Matt Geiger. You'll notice him, ex-Philadelphia 76ers, and now living in Tampa. And Jim Kelly, formerly of the Buffalo Bills, and myself. So,
Wow.
I mean, a host of stars.
So you can put together an Olympic team.
No, most definitely.
So with that, do you see yourself pursuing acting more in the future, or do you still have several more years of boxing left?
I definitely have a couple more years of boxing, but, you know, I can't box forever.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I'm fortunate enough to have a window that I can any avenue that I can go in and as big as acting, why not? You know,
Yeah.
I would be, you know, crazy not to take up that opportunity. But right now, my focus is on boxing. I have a lot of unfinished business before I can stamp my ticket to the Hall of Fame in Canastota. So, you know, that's what I want more than anything. And once I've done that, then I can walk away from boxing and say that I've accomplished everything that I wanted to.
Do you plan on being the 5-time light heavyweight champion?
No. I plan on being the 4th time, and I plan on retiring. No more 5-time, no more comebacks. That's it.
Well, you've got boxing, acting. Know you love to play golf too, and the Boys and Girls Club is
Yes.
an organization that's very close to your heart. Tell us about your involvement there and the golf tournaments that you like to play in throughout the year.
Well, you know, the Boys and Girls Club is where I started boxing. Actually, where I found myself, you know, as a young man. So, you know, I have to really pay homage to Lester Sears, who was the director and the boxing coach back then, when I was only like 10 years old, 11 years old, getting in trouble around the Boys and Girls Club. He said, you know what, you have too much energy. You fight too much. We got to, you know, use this energy constructive. And he put on a pair of gloves that was about as big as my chest. And, you know, we duked it out in the ring. And that's how I was able to solve all of my differences. Instead of fighting in the streets, I was fighting in a boxing ring. And, you know, who would have ever thought that years later I would become an Olympian, a medal winner in the Olympics, 4-time world champion, and, you know, playing a co-star alongside Sylvester Stallone and Rocky Balboa. So, dreams do come true. I tell kids all the time, believe in yourself, follow your dreams. I'm a living proof that they do come true.
And you have some amazing accolades to your name. And I think one question everyone else wants to know is, who are some other boxers you'd love to fight before you put your gloves up?
Well, you know what? Being on top right now, it's just whoever makes the most sense. Right now, I'm a businessman as well as a boxer. And, like I said, I can't do this forever. So right now I want the biggest fights. I mean, Jeff Lacey is one of them, Calzaghe, rematch with Bernard Hopkins. And then after that, I think I've accomplished everything. But, one fight at a time. I got to take care of Chad Dawson. He's a young guy that would love to live in my shoes. You know what I mean? So I got to protect the things that I have jealously. So that's why we just left the boxing gym. We put in a good 2 hours of work. I trained this morning, and I'm focused on just maintaining my status and being the best that I can be.
We look forward to that fight. Tell everyone where they can learn more about you, promoting yourself,
Yes.
your entertainment company.
Well,
What's
my
your
MySpace is private. So.
Okay. Oh, come on. That was your wife's doing, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. But Antonio-Tarver.com is my official website, and it's all in Flash. It's one of the best websites you'll see. So
it's very
if
cool.
you want to know the latest and greatest about the Magic Man, go to my website, and Team Tarver. What is it? GaryTeamTarver.com, I believe, is our business website, and so we just trying to keep going and stay on top and stay humble at the same time.
And before we let you go, quickly tell us about your team. You were bragging about them earlier. You have a great team on your side.
Yes, I do. I'm back with my old trainer, the guy that laid the foundation, started it all, Jimmy Williams. Some people know him as Abu, and we began this journey back in 1996. And in his own words, we're gonna finish what we started. So we look for an unbelievable next 2 years ahead of us. I got Gary Lewis as my vice president of AT Entertainment, doing big things. Also, just my guy my eyes and ears, so to speak. Angela Mitchell, she's my cut lady, one of the first ladies to really work a major fight, and we gave her that opportunity with Eva Maricki. She's great with that. And she's a local anesthesiologist right here in the Bay Area. Oh. Yeah, so she does great work. And Joe Ponce is my second trainer, and he's my mitt guy. We work on hand and eye coordination drills every day in the gym to keep me sharp. And so with that team, we can go straight to the top.
Well, Antonio, I think we've asked you about everything we could. It's been an honor and a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
And again, if you're interested in learning more about Antonio Tarver, you can go to Antonio-Tarver.com.